Okay, so today we are talking about being able to change an agent on an existing policy. So you have to have you have to have like your AMS integrated, of course. So I'm gonna go in here and show everybody how to do this. I'm not sure if the demo is gonna let me, so bear with me on this one. So we'll go in here to policies. And then we'll click on policies. Also, just a little bit of something I wanted to bring to light too is if you do have people on your team, you can go in here to settings actually, and then under edit access, you can decide who's allowed to edit policy information as well as edit or add checklists. So if there's somebody on your team that has been trying to add a checklist and doesn't, or you want to restrict it so only you can do that or only a few people, this is where you'll do it. We do have this agents manager where you can manage access, but just for changing and adding policy information and checklist is going to be under edit access. So it's a little confusing, but I just wanted to let y'all know about that. Under active policies, we'll go here and we'll click on the policy itself. And then under edit here, again, because we don't have our AMS, because this is just the demo. But ideally, you would be able to change the name here and update it. So if it says house account, or if you want it to be mapped to you instead, maybe you want to do a campaign that's just for your book of business, you can do that. So just something a small little feature that we added, but just wanted to let you all know about the editing access and then the editing the agent that's linked to this policy. So that is all I have for Friday. Do we have any questions?
Not for me.
Nope. No questions?
I have a minor question. So I'm trying to have an email campaign go out from the agent.
Mm-hmm.
And I put like agent phone number, so then their phone number will populate. Is there any way I can test that for them to make sure it's populating correctly? Because I assigned a deal card to one of the agents and it's still populated with my phone number.
Oh, so when you're in Pipeline Manager,
yeah,
if you're both on the card or there's multiple people on the card, to make sure that it's going to the correct person, this will load.
I have mine pulled up if you want me to. Oh, there you
go. So here there's multiple people. See this little star? Yeah. That's who the marketing content's going to come from. Like same for this, there's Jeff, John, and Gina. So what you'll do is when you have multiple people on the card, under assignee, let's click add. You'll just select the star to make sure that all the marketing content is coming from that person.
So this one, he is the only person on it. And he has the star. So maybe, I don't know.
Okay, do you want to share your screen so I can, let me look.
Like he's the only one on it. But this is my phone number, the 308-225.
Do you know when you set it up?
I literally did it this morning.
No, when you set up your texting, do you all have your own number for texting, or did you guys set it up that everybody's texting from the same number?
We're all texting from the same number, but that's not our texting phone number.
Okay.
That's like my direct line.
Yeah. What tag did you use? Did you use agent?
The agent phone number.
Because a lot of the tags have like two different ones. Email. You didn't do agency phone, you did agent phone?
I'm pretty sure.
So it could just be reverse, but
let's look. That one.
Agent phone. Did you type that in or did you just click agent?
No, I hit the merge tags.
Okay.
Oh,
so I see. Could you try doing? could you try doing agency phone and see if that works? And if it does work, then that just means the tags are incorrectly mapping.
Okay.
Yeah, so do that one and then you can send it to yourself. If that's the case, just put a ticket into support to let them know.
They're switched.
Yeah, and if it still is incorrect, then we also need to put that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so you can wait, go back. Let me show you something. Go back into engagement and go to your templates. And then click those 3 dots on the right and then click send to myself.
So, but is that going to populate with my phone number?
No,
Or
no,
his
you're just sending it to yourself.
Okay. So
But
we're
the
just
template
seeing if it populates.
The template should still pull the correct information.
True, because we put agency phone number.
Yeah, so that's not like the number that it's being sent from.
Okay. Also, when I sent that first one to myself, I didn't get it in my email. I just was able to see it in InsuredMine.
It probably should have been spam because if you send an email from yourself to yourself, Outlook or Gmail sometimes will mark it as spam because it's like you're not supposed to be sending yourself emails, I guess, or something. I don't know who came up with that logic, but yeah.
Well, I'll let anyone else ask their questions while I wait for this email.
Okay. What other questions? Anything, Josh?
No, I like when other people have questions.
I know. Yeah.
Because it's, since I'm at like the starting blocks here, it's nice to hear what people are already having success with it and having issues with it and all that stuff. So I love these little meetings.
Yeah, hearing it. Yeah, how others are using it. I guess we can go into Pipeline Manager here and just talk about some best practices. I definitely think, well, number one would be when you're, and I always harp on this, but it will save you in the end, is in your deal cards and your tasks to always completely fill out to the best of your ability. That's number one. And then, because it'll really help with like sorting purposes, because you're going to have a ton of cards in here and then you're going to want to like just look at some. Also, labels are super important. We have a ton of labels, but I think those are some best practices. Keeping up on tasks, making task list your landing page, some other things. Also, you can monitor here these days. I don't know if you probably can't see this in yours because I don't know if you have any cards that have sat there long enough, but you can see here quickly like they sat in lead in for 19 days. So setting that parameter of how many days you want them to sit in that stage before something happens. So you can always do that to say like, okay, after 14 days, I need to make sure I call them or something like that. So that's something I've seen people use, especially with pipeline automation. They can say after 19 days of sitting in a stage, something XYZ needs to happen. And then what else? That's good tips. Anybody else? Stan, Kelsey, any other good tips, words of the wise to new users?
No, actually, I don't have any issues. With the pipeline or with the checklist or any of that stuff. It's just a work in progress. You just have to take it a bite at a time and see if figure it out. I mean, that's the bite-sized training is really very helpful because it does give it to you in bite-sized portions, and I think that's really important because we don't retain when there's a lot of information. You don't retain it.
Yeah, exactly.
Stanley, what if you wouldn't mind helping the rookie here? If you were just rolling this out all over again, what would you have started on? Because we're thinking, there's so many cool things that we're spending a lot of time debating what to do first, and we probably could have already started. So I was wondering if you had a DeLorean and it went 88 miles per hour,
Well, obviously,
Back in
the
time.
most important thing is have your list of contacts with as much information as you can get in there, because everything hinges on, I mean, all your marketing, everything hinges on having uh, data that's pertinent to individuals and that you can sort on. I'm finding the use of tags is really very valuable because it allows you to focus in on specific areas. Um, the, I put a lot of focus personally into building templates that that are that are consistent, and obviously we've talked about that in the past. I don't know whether you've been there when we talked about it, but what you need to do is you need to have a consistent branding that people every time they get an email, they go, oh, that's from Stan, and obviously the it's been kind of a hunt and miss thing for me trying to build the templates, but it's worked out really well. The the other thing I would concentrate on is figuring out what you want to do, what targets are you really going for, and once you got the targets figured out, then you can build campaigns around it. So
That's good advice. Thank you. It's like how do you eat the elephant kind of thing.
Yeah. I think one of the most important things Stan said too, biggest takeaway is those tags, because it's going to be a lot at once. But if you can get the habit is when you're adding contacts or if you're interacting with somebody on the phone or email, and then you're like, oh, this person is a certain type of tag, then just adding that to their contact as you're, because then it'll make it in a, not right now, but in 6 months or a year, most of your book business will have tags, and then you can have your marketing campaigns and your selling techniques and everything be very, very um, particular without you having to put in a lot of work.
it's interesting. Some of you seen Pete Vignoli or seen attending. He's an agent of mine in California, and he called me up the other day and he says, this thing is built for property casualty agents, basically. And he says, it's really overkill for me. And I said, you take what you need, out of the system, and the property casualty is just one element of it. I mean, obviously, communication with your client is something that's consistent across all product lines. I mean, if you don't have the ability to communicate with your clients in a way that's pertinent to today's environment, you're in trouble. And so basically, I've got him convinced now that what he needs to do is to pick those things out of the system that are relevant to what he's doing, because he's basically just retirement planning, and focus on those. I mean, you got to focus on what you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I told somebody this yesterday. I'm not a techie, but I do know what I want, and if I can figure out what I want, then I can figure out how to do it. And if I can't figure out how to do it, I call Saloni.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because we have so many things, so many functionalities, and so many ways you can customize it. So that's why Josh, like working with Gary was such a pleasure, because he was like, this is what we need. And then we were like, okay. And then and Susan as well, of course, but Gary's very, very particular. So that was, for us, it's like, we always, people always ask best practices, and we have that on a high level, but a lot of agents they want to accomplish 5 different things, and we have 10 different ways to achieve those 5 different things. So let's talk about all those 10 ways and narrow it down, and then come back in a couple months and see, was that the most efficient way? Maybe it should have been a checklist. Maybe it should have been a task. Maybe it should have been a label. Maybe it should have been a stage. So just kind of, tell us what you want, and then we'll tell you what we have.
And if you're not in the Facebook group, you need to go in there.
Yeah, the Facebook group's awesome.
Yeah, I joined the Facebook. I don't like Facebook for my personal life, but I'll go in there more now to connect with other users. But
Yeah.
I don't use it much for my
But
normal life.
it is a closed group, so you're not dealing with people who are not insured.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
Yeah, the only
Thank
reason
you.
I have Facebook is for the group. I always forget, like,
Yeah.
I delete the app, and then I'm like, oh wait, I need it for work. I like,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, anything else? Any other questions? Anything like that?
Before I submit that to support, will you tell me where to like check what my phone number is listed in my account?
Yeah. So if you go up here, so you can either click on this, but if you have admin access, it's a little bit easier. You can just go to Agents Manager, and then you can see your number,
Oh,
and you can change it if you want. Do you-
perfect.
Yeah.
So that's good to know because the agent I was trying to send it from doesn't have a phone number in here.
There you go.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd add it and then maybe log out and log back in before you send it with the tag. Just
I can add his phone number in here
yeah, you just click
under
edit.
admin. Perfect. Oh, this
You
is
can
great.
change the
Okay.
role, all of that. Yeah, we used to always have to ask Saloni, but now we don't have to.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course. Alrighty, guys. Well, if nothing else, then we can hop off. And I will talk to y'all on Monday.
have a great
Thank you
weekend.
very much.
Of
And-
course. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.